Good afternoon to all of our viewers and those who are listening on the live. Welcome to the Raymond E. Gishad Stadium, where we picked up where we left off on Saturday with two exciting matches this afternoon here in the NCBA primary school football competition here at the Raymond E. Gishad Technical Center, Raymond E. Gishad Field. This afternoon we will be bringing to you the match Maurice Vanterpool versus Vivian Vanterpool. First up will be the females portion of it, with the Maurice Vanterpool school taking on the Vivian Vanterpool. Maurice, at the moment, their uniform kit is made up of red and black, whereas the Vivian Vanterpool, they are sporting the green, white with black short, green and white with black shorts and black socks. And at the moment, we're just about getting ready to start the proceedings. The players are getting the officials update and the instructions on this match this afternoon. Maurice Vanterpool versus the Vivian Vanterpool. So if you're just joining us, we want to say welcome to you again, and it's a pleasure to be coming into your homes, into your space with live football. So the toss has been taken, the players are shaking hands and they are going to their respective positions, while there's still centered in the middle of the pitch in at the center circle. All the officials are there, and the crowd is slowly trickling in, and I'm almost most certainly sure that most of the crowd will be in for the nightcap. That's the nightcap. So here we see the referees and the referee's assistant. They're just about to take up their position now as we are about to kick off this match this afternoon. Maurice Vanterpool kicking from west to east versus the Vivian Vanterpool, who's coming in from the east to west. And here we see the referee. The official this afternoon is Tashim, assistant referee, and that's the man himself, Van Persie, Kamal Harden, and we are just about getting ready to start. Here we go. There's the goal, the final whistle. Here we see Maurice coming away with it as the defender boots the ball upfield. It's collected here by number 11 for Maurice, but ball had been cleared into touch for a throw-in to the Maurice Vanterpool. On the left side, here at the center circle, throw being taken, intercepted there by Vivian Vanterpool, and the ball being put into touch again for a throw-in to Maurice. So just 31 seconds into the start of the first half here this afternoon. Here we see number 11 with it as she throws it in, picked up there by number 10, but only to be put into touch again by the player there for another throw-in, this time to Vivian Vanterpool school. Here we see the player on her right side of her, just beyond the center half. Here we see the ball being touched and played into the center circle, collected here by Maurice moving down to her right, dribbles past two men but loses it out to Vivian Vanterpool. Vivian picks up, and here is number 11, Jocelyn Chu, and it's a goal. So that's a goal coming in the first minute here, actually the second minute of the first half. We see the ball was played to the far right, and the players was trying to gain possession but loses out to the Morris striker there, who just slotted the ball into the back of the net with one kick, and so it's goal number 1 to Morris Vanterpool. Goal number 1 to Morris Vanterpool. Here we see the player there for Vivian Vanterpool. She boots the ball upfield, intercepted there by the Morris number 8, as she plays it further wide as Morris dribbles to the center circle, and here we see Morris coming away with it, only as far as Vivian, but the player there has been blocked, and there's an infringement on the part of the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School. They're just impeding the progression on the forward movement of number 11 for Morris here, just outside of the center half, the center of the field. Here we see the kick being taken, booted downfield, and ball intercepted and goes into touch for a corner kick to Morris Vanterpool. Yes, so it's live football action here this afternoon, with Morris Vanterpool playing in the red and black, coming up against the Vivian Vanterpool playing in the green. Here we see the corner being taken and the ball is being cleared. Here we see the player there for Vivian trying to clear, the ball being picked up there, and they're in a tussle there. Here we see the ball going further forward. Here is Morris with it as she tried to dribble. It's intercepted there by Vivian. Here comes the Morris player, number 4, picks up again as she tries to beat the player there for Vivian, and as she was trying to gain position, committing an infringement there for a free kick to the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School. So it's 3 minutes 46 seconds into the match. Here we see the kick being taken, intercepted there by number 10, and the ball is being, the referee has pulled the play back, and certainly going to share some instructions for the kick to be retaken. Here we see kick being booted downfield only as far as the Vivian Vanterpool, the Morris Vanterpool player, who clears, number 8 clears, and the ball has ricocheted and goes into touch off of number 6 for Vivian for a throw-in to Morris and their far left side attacking third, that is. Here we see the throw being taken quickly, and here we see the player number 10 coming away with it. She dribbles past a man and she's speeding down the right side, and she takes a shot at goal only to be blocked, and the ball being put into touch for a throw in there to Morris Vanterpool. Here we see Morris again, number 10 coming away with it. Shoots, squares across, and the ball is just being missed there by the player there for Morris on the far left as she tries to dribble, loses it, and there is, it's another goal. Goal number 2 to Morris in the 6th minute. A play coming across the center of the goalkeeping area and just slotted into the net by number 10 for a score of 2 goals to 0. 2 goals to 0 for Morris Vanterpool. Yes. We see some instructions being given there just before the kick being taken, and there's a player that's down on the left side of the area, and there's a coach being called for some attention to be given to that player. In the meantime, we see the Vivian Vanterpool's coach calling the team, and I'm certainly sure that he's trying to get them to regroup and to put up a better showing here. They have not started off as well as they would like. Some 2 goals in the match thus far, and we are only 6 minutes and 17 seconds in. Yes, the player is still being looked at there by the coach, so you are not missing any players. Player being held up just a little bit, and here we see the officials, the referee, going over to the Morris Vanterpool coach to issue some instructions, a warning, so to speak. Not too sure why that. I think you are still allowed to shout instructions, that is. He did not take the players off the field. I would want to think that he just wanted to give them some further, instructions as to how they are to play. And here we see the player who took a knock has just been taken out for play to continue here this afternoon. So here we see new substitute being made by the Maurice Vanterpool early on in the 8th minute. And referee is not satisfied with the pass, and so the center kick needs to be retaken here this afternoon. On the other end of the spectrum, we have here we see the whistles being blown and the kick being taken, booted upfield. Here is number 11. She collects, boots it upfield, but only to the number 14 there for Maurice Vanterpool, who boots it back downfield, intercepted by number 2, and an infringement there on the part of the number 13 there for Vivian Vanterpool. So it's a free kick there to Maurice to be taken by the number 11, the defensive player there, just on the far right. Here we see the kick being taken down for the right. Here we see number 2 collects, and she tried to squeeze only to as far as the Maurice the Vivian Vanterpool player, who strips it and is coming away with it, loses it to the player there in the center, who boots it upfield. And here we see Maurice trying to gain position here. She has the ball now. She passes it to the player on the far left, who loses it to the Vivian Vanterpool player. The ball being booted upfield. Here we see Maurice coming away with it again. She dribbles past one, loses it to number 12 there, who do a nice back heel there as she was trying to get away down the line. Number 13 there just putting the ball into touch for throwing there to Maurice as the throw being taken quickly. Here we see number 11 clears the ball upfield for Maurice, and here we see Vivian coming away with it, boots it downfield. Number 11's over it, boots it upfield, and just accidentally boot that ball directly into, it seems as though the midsection of the player, who has crumpled over on the ground and in pain. Number 6, which seems to be up now, looking probably just feeling that effect of the sudden lick there, but she's walking nicely to her coach and seems to be doing okay so far. She does not want to leave the field of play as the coach is beckoning her to come off the field for just a moment. Okay, and he decided to heed to the player's call, number 6. So, not missing any play. The ball ricocheted into touch for a throw in to the Vivian Vanterpool. That's on their left defensive third there, just outside of their goalkeeping area on the their far left. And see some instructions here being given. Not sure. Referee is beckoning that the player be given a substitute. So he's asking. Seems as though a mandatory substitute be made by the Vivian Vanterpool on the instructions of the referee. Yes, so it's Maurice 2-0 in this afternoon encounter here. Maurice Vanterpool coming up against the Vivian Vanterpool at the Raymond E. Gishad Stadium here, where we continue with live football. Here we see the whistle blow for the throw. As play continues here, collected here by number 10, who boots it far right to number 2, who dribbles past the man and is streaming down to the right. Number 2 dribbles, tries to get around the defensive player there for Vivian Vanterpool, loses out, collects again, and she's moving, she's dribbling into the center circle, but only loses out there to the defender. Here we see the Maurice Vanterpool player picks up and tries to dribble, loses it there to the Vivian Vanterpool player, who boots the ball downfield only as far as number 11, and as she tries to clear, ball accidentally hitting the player there on the hands, and referee adjudged the play to be a handball. Here you see number 11 boots it upfield straight to the Maurice Vanterpool player, who's adjudged to be in an offside position here this afternoon, and so that's a kick there just on the edge of the box there for Vivian Vanterpool. Here we see the player lining up behind the ball now to take that offside kick. Scores in the match 2-0 in favor of Maurice. Here you see the kick being taken as far as the center circle to the Vivian Vanterpool player. She loses it to number 4. Number 4 passes it to number 2. Number 2 passes it to number 4, but intercepted there by the Vivian Vanterpool player. And here we see the play being picked up there again by number 2 for Maurice. As the clearance came to the Vivian Vanterpool player on the far left, and the ball being put into touch for a throw in there to the Vivian Vanterpool school, just on the center field there. Here we see the player with it now. She attempts to take the throws the ball in, and it's an infringement, handball on the part of the Maurice Vanterpool player, the Vivian Vanterpool player, and so it's a free kick there to the Maurice Vanterpool, who is the kick being taken by number 12 as she boots it upfield, intercepted there by the Vivian Vanterpool player, who tries to dribble to her left, loses out to number 2. Here we see number 2 streaming down the right, squares it into the middle to number 10, who taps it further forward but loses out to the defender there in Vivian Vanterpool. Here we see Vivian Vanterpool coming down to her left, and the ball being put into touch for a throw in there to the Vivian Vanterpool school in their defensive left third. Here we see the player just waiting to take the throw now. Yes, it's 2-0 in favor of Maurice. Goal in the 2nd minute and in the 8th minute. Here we see the throw being taken and the ball being booted upfield only as far as number 8 for Maurice, who boots it downfield only as far as the Vivian Vanterpool defender there on the far left side. And here we see picked up there by number 10 there for Maurice. She clears upfield, intercepted there by Vivian Vanterpool. The ball is with the number 8 player there for Maurice, who dribbles around past one man but loses it to the Vivian Vanterpool player, who's streaming down the right side. And as she's trying to get around the player there, ended up just taking the ball into touch for a throw into Maurice, who throws the ball in quickly to number 10. Number 10 tries to beat the defender there in number 4 for Vivian, but loses it out, and in her effort to clear forward, clear the ball, and accidentally the ball just deflecting into touch for a corner kick to Maurice on the far right side. Here the corner kick being taken, blocked, and into touch again for another corner kick there for Maurice, and the far left side, which is the right side of the defensive third for Vivian Vanterpool. Here you see corner kick being taken nicely, intercepted there by Vivian Vanterpool. And here we see Maurice trying to come away with it again. Picked up there by Vivian Primary School, and here we see the ball being booted upfield by Maurice only as far as number 5 there, who squares it further right to number 2. Number 2 loses out to the defender there, who clears it upfield, and here we see number 8 there for Vivian Vanterpool trying to get away, loses out to the Maurice player, and here we see Vivian coming away with it, dribbles further to her left as she streams down the left side, and there is a clearance there, hard and solid clearance by number 8 there for the Maurice Vanterpool. So some 16 minutes and 31 seconds into the match. You see the throw taken quickly by Maurice. They're picked up there by number 10 the throw taken by Vivian, picked up there by the Morris number 10, loses out, and into touch for throwing there to Morris, who throws the ball in. Number 2 picks it up, and here you see the player in Vivian Vanterpool, number 13, trying to come away with it but loses it. Now here we see the number 6 there for Morris Vanterpool, running up the center of the field, trying to get through, but only to be blocked there by the Vivian Vanterpool player. She loses it back to the number 6 player, who squares it further forward. Here we see number 10, a shot and blocked there, shot and goal, but it's blocked there. Here we see number 8 picks up, and clearance there by the Vivian Vanterpool, number 13, only as far as number 11, who squeezes to the left, and here you see the player trying to get around, but intercepted there by the Vivian player. And here you see number 10 for Morris, trying to come away with it, but only to be blocked there by Vivian Vanterpool. Here we see number 2, with a nice pullback there this afternoon. Yes, she's putting on some really wonderful tricks here this afternoon, just to get around the player there. Here we see number 10. She tries to dribble through the center for a shot. Ball just going into touch for a goal kick there to Vivian, but there was the number 2 player from Morris, really putting on some tricks here on the defensive player there on the left side of the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School, and squaring the ball into the middle, but the number 10 there loses it, and the ball went into touch for a corner kick. Here we see the kick being taken only as far as number 6 there for Morris, who squares it further forward, and in doing so blocked there by the Vivian Vanterpool defender there, and boots it upfield only to as far as number 11. And here we see the play, number 10 picking up the ball and shooting a shot at goal, but only to see her shot go begging wide of the right upright of the Vivian Vanterpool custodian here this afternoon. So it's NCBA 4th edition of primary school football, and this afternoon we have the Morris Vanterpool School coming up against the Vivian Vanterpool School here this afternoon. Here we see Morris as the defender boots the ball upfield, picked up there by number 13, who tries to dribble. That's number 2 for Vivian, who tries to dribble around but loses out to the player there. And here we see Morris trying to take the ball downfield but loses it there to the defender there. You see number 10 trying to get away with it, but only to be blocked and for the ball to be booted upfield by Vivian. Here we see number 2 just missed it. Here we see number 2 had been bundled off the ball there by the bigger player there, number 8, bundling off number 2 there. It was a small option, but here we see them coming over with it again, and it's an offside here. So number 2 had having a wonderful opportunity there to get a 4-shot on goal, but for some reason was just eased off of the ball a little bit and loses that option. So it's 20 minutes and 16 seconds, so we should hear the whistle for the halftime at any moment. The scores in the match: 2-0. Vivian Vanterpool 0, Morris Vanterpool 2. Here we see the free kick being taken, kick being booted upfield only as far as the number 2 player there for Vivian, who intercepted by number 11 there for Morris. And here we see a shot being taken at goal, but powerful shot taken there, but goes sailing over the bar for an intertouch for a goal kick there to Vivian Vanterpool. It's 2-0 in favor of the Vivian Vanterpool School, and here you see the referee holding up the game here for a substitute to be made, and here we see a substitute being made here this afternoon. It's Morris Vanterpool 2, Vivian Vanterpool 0. Football live here at the Raymond E. Gishard Stadium. Here we see the kick being taken. Oh, she just yes, so the kick the ball being booted upfield only as far as number 4 for Maris, who boots it upfield only as far as the defender there for Vivian Van der Poel. And here we see Vivian trying to come away with it, boots it upfield, blocked there by number 4, and infringement there on the part of the Maris number 10 player, just pushing the defender there off the ball, and an infringement just in the middle of the Vivian Van der Poel school as she boots the ball upfield. Here is number 2. Here is number 2 trying to collect. Loses it there to number 11. Boots it upfield and is blocked there by the player there from Morris. And the ball goes into touch for a throw-in to Vivian Van der Poel on their right attacking third. 2-0 here. The throw being taken, intercepted there by Zat and ball being played into touch for a throw-in there by the Morris player, who just shepherded that one outside. Here to see the throw being taken, intercepted there by number 11, who boots it upfield only as far as number 4. Here we see number 4 passes it to number 10, who dribbles around one man. Trying to dribble around to the other defender there for the Vivian Van der Poel. Intercepted there by Vivian, but collected there again by Morris, who is still trying to get around. Number 2 there, still trying to get around the player there. Loses out, and the ball being played back out to number 4 there for Morris, who boots it in field, but only to as far as the Vivian Van der Poel player, who boots it up to the number 2 player there for Vivian, and she tries to come away with it. Intercepted there by the number 11 defender there for Morris. Here we see number 14 picking up for Vivian, but loses out to number 11, who boots it out to that, and the ball being put into touch by number 13. Is that number 13? No, by number 00 there, and for a throw in there for the Vivian Van der Poel school. So it's 23 minutes 57 seconds into the match. Here we see the throw being taken, collected there by number 6 there for Morris, who's speeding up to the left side. Is cut inside, and she looks up. She's still dribbling past to the far right for number 6, who tries to square it into the center, but loses out to the defender. Here we see number 10 picking up and shooting a shot at goal, but blocked there by the central defender. And as she tries to shoot again, shoots only into the hands of the custodian, who picks up the ball cleanly and is just about ready to progress with the play here. Here we see the referee. The player boots the ball upfield. Here we see Vivian trying to come away with it. Vivian is trying to come away with it. Blocked there by the player there for Morris. The ball is with Vivian Van der Poel. Number 2 coming away, loses it out to number 6, to number 8 there, the defensive third. Here we see number 2 again. Dribbles and boots the ball downfield and is running feverishly to catch it. And the player number 8 there boots the ball upfield, but it's blocked there by the Vivian Van der Poel player. And here you see the ball is booted upfield to number 10, who dribbles and loses it to the Vivian Van der Poel defensive player there, as the ball being played back in field and cleared to the far left side of the Vivian Van der Poel defensive third, as she clears the ball upfield only as far as number 4, who loses it out to the Vivian Van der Poel player there. Here we see number 11 of Morris boots the ball upfield and is running onto it, controls it now, looks up and pass it further forward only as far as the Morris player. And here we see a shot being taken, and the ball goes into touch for a goal kick there to Vivian Van der Poel. It's 26 minutes and 5 seconds into the first half, and certainly sure that it should be halftime by now. These games will be playing 20, 30 minutes a half. I'm certainly sure it's 20 minutes a half. Here you see the kick being taken, blocked there by number 10, who dribbles past the player who just had that goal clearance, but shot being going wide, and Somehow the keeper did not collect as well as she should have, and the ball goes into touch for a corner kick on the far left side of the defensive third there for the Vivian Vanterpool. Here you see the corner kick being taken, collected here by the number 2 player. As she dribbles past one, loses it to the 0-0 there for Morris Vanterpool. Here we see Vivian clearing out, and here we see Vivian trying to come away with it. As she tries to move across to the center circle, intercepted there by number 11, who boots the ball upfield, and it's a handball there, apparent handball there, as the defender was trying to clear, as number 14 was trying to clear, a judge to handle the ball, and we see number 11 just about to take that kick here this afternoon. Yes, anytime now, looking to hear that whistle. Here we see number 11 with that kick, and the ball goes further right. Here we see Morris coming over with it. Yes, 0-0, tries to dribble past the man, but it's only intercepted, and the ball is with Morris. And here we see the number 10 player for Morris tries to shoot, but it's blocked there. Here we see the shot being taken, blocked again. Here we see 0-0 for Morris, picking up again, but it's only putting that ball into touch for a goal kick to the Vivian Vanterpool school. Yes. So it's Vivian Vanterpool 0, Morris Vanterpool 2. Live football action here at the Raymond E. Gishard Stadium. Here we see the goal kick being taken, intercepted there by the Morris Vanterpool player, and the ball being cleared fiercely into touch for a throw in there to Vivian. To show us the referee is looking at his match, at his whistle there, but I think half time should have been blown for already. But having said that as well, there's been a lot of stop-start in the game as well, so certainly guess that the referee is just making up for the injury time in the match. 29 minutes and 16 seconds in. Here we see the throw being taken, and there goes the halftime whistle. So at the Raymond E. Gishard Stadium here this afternoon in the match, Morris Vanterpool versus the Vivian Vanterpool, scores at halftime 2-0. Stay tuned for more in the second half, and do join us when we get back. Yeah, good evening and welcome back to the Raymond E. Gishad Technical Center Stadium here this afternoon, where we are bringing to you live coverage of the match Morris Vanterpool Primary School versus the Vivian Primary School. At halftime, it was Morris who are in the lead with 2-0 in their favor, and here we are just about getting ready to start the second half with the teams switching around their positions. So it's Morris coming from east to west this time, and like vice versa, the Vivian Primary School, they will be heading up to the east to see if they can get that, at least get a goal back. You see just some final adjustments as the referee is just about to get play started here this afternoon. We see signals from the linesman, and here we go. Second half at the Raymond E. Gishad Technical Center. It's Vivian Vanterpool against Morris, and there goes the whistle. The ball is with Vivian. She boosts it upfield, collected there by the number 11 for Morris, who tries to play it out, but only to be intercepted there, and here came across number 8 there, and the ball being put into touch for a throw-in for Vivian Vanterpool. So they have started off a lot brighter and much more purposeful here this afternoon. You would see the ball being put into touch again for another throw-in there to Morris as the throw comes in quickly, and the player tries to boot out, and here we see a shot on goal, but tame one that is, and it's collected there by the custodian there for Morris. She boots it upfield. Here we see number 2 coming away with it as she tries to dribble past the man. She picks up again. She tries to dribble, yes, and dribble past the man. Dribble past 2. As she number 2 coming away with it. As she tries to screen. Dribbling past 3 player there, and the number 2 player there really turning up the skills and the energy here this afternoon, dribbling past some 3-4 players, but loses out, and the ball going into touch for a goal kick there on the part of the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School. So it's live action here at the Raymond E. Gishad Stadium with the match Vivian Vanterpool against Morris Vanterpool. Here we see number 2 picking up that clearance from the goalkeeper there, and a shot at goal, but keeper well in position, covering her near post and collected nicely. And here we see the keeper boots it and just missed it, and there is a shot, and it's a goal. Just a bad clearance there by the goalkeeper there for Vivian Vanterpool Primary School, miscuing that clearance straight into the path of number 10, who just in one motion just lobbed it back over the keeper's head, who tried frantically to get it outside of the net, but was not able to do so. And so it's goal number 3 here for Morris Vanterpool here this afternoon. So goal coming in the 3rd minute, so that's the 33rd minute, and here you see the kick being taken, and the referee there, the official there, is asking for the kick to be retaken here this afternoon. And yes, you see number 14 is over the ball. I don't know why she's trying to boot it upfield. She needs to be given the instructions, but she boots it upfield only as far as number 11, who collects, passes wide to her left as the player squeezes to Yes, sorry for the break in commentary there. I was just trying to get my eye line clear here this afternoon because the spectators, they're just walking across. But here the ball was put into touch for a goal kick there to the Vivian Vanterpool School. And here we see number 8 with the clearance only as far as number 2, who dribbles away and is coming forward. And is a little bit bundled off the ball, and the ball goes into touch for a goal kick there to the Vivian Vanterpool. That she just was unlucky there not to get an infringement against her. But the number 2 player is really playing well here this afternoon, really turning up the skills. Here we see number 14 comes to boot the ball forward, only as far as the number 2 player who plays it across to the far left side, and here we see Morris coming away with it. Ball being booted over to number 2 again. Number 2 player. Here we see the number 2 player. She's still with it. Dribbles past one, but intercepted there by number 8. Here we see the number 2 for Vivian Vanterpool, streaming up to the left side, but is cut out there, cut out there by the Morris Vanterpool player. Here we see number 3 dribbling away all the way up to our left side. Is blocked there, and ball being put into touch for a throw in there to the Vivian Vanterpool. So Vivian Vanterpool playing a lot more purposeful here this afternoon, trying to get away from trying to get that elusive goal. I just said the throw in for Morris. It was a throw in for Morris. Thought it was cleared out by Morris, but it was throw in for Morris, and there's an infringement there to what's the signal here from the referee. Seems as though there's an infringement against Morris, and so a free kick to be taken by the Vivian Vanterpool. Scores in the match 3-0 in favor of Morris Vanterpool. Here you see the shot being taken, but it's blocked and cleared into touch by the number 2 player there for Morris for throwing there to Vivian Vanterpool score. So if you're not here, you're missing some live action, but we are certainly glad that we can bring it to you live and lively, and with the comments as well. We do hope so far you have enjoyed our coverage here with you this afternoon. You see there's an call there for an infringement on the part of the Vivian Vanterpool player, judged to have handled the ball. And here we see the number 11 is just about getting ready to clear. She clears up field only as far the number 3 player there for Vivian, who tries to get around the number 11 there, loses it to the defensive player there as the lights comes on here at the Raymond E. Gishard Stadium. Here we see the number 13 tries to dribble around the player there, loses it to the Morris Vanterpool player, who clears into touch for a throw-in to Morris. Throw-in to the linesman flag signaling. Okay, it appears as if the throw has been, linesman adjudged the throw for Morris. She throws the ball in only as far as the number 4 player for Vivian, who collects number 2 players, that is. Ball being booted downfield, intercepted there by number 4. Here coming away with it. Number 10 passes further to her left as the player Morris dribbling left. She tries to dribble around the 3 players there, but the ball being blocked, and still with it. Number 4 still with it as the ball ricochet and roll into touch for a throw-in to Morris. Yes. Some 7 minutes and 41 seconds into the second half. It's Morris Vanterpool 3, Vivian Vanterpool 0. Here we see number 5 trying to clear only as far as the Morris number 4 player, who tries to dribble around, loses it to the number 4 player there for the Vivian primary. And here we see the number 2 trying to collect. Number 3 challenges as the player there clears, and here we see Morris picking the ball up in their defensive touch. He tries to dribble, loses it to the player there as the player goes through, and there's an infringement, and there's certainly a penalty being given there in favor of the Vivian Vanterpool player, who seems to have gotten a knock there, and as the coach and the physio been called onto the field for some attention. But I'm here to tell you that it's certainly a penalty kick in favor of Vivian Vanterpool primary, as the player was streaming towards the goal here this afternoon, was bundled and adjudged to be fouled inside the area, and hence the referee, judge, pointed that dreaded finger to the penalty spot for that penalty kick. So let's see if Morris is going to, the keeper from Morris is going to stop the shot. He is in number 14, is over the ball. Let's see if Vivian are going to get their first goal here this afternoon. Remember, they're trailing by a score of 3-0. 3-0. At halftime it was 2-0, and here we see the kick being taken, and it's a goal. I wasn't so sure whether the keeper there to try the best to stave it, but the ball just dropping into the back of the net from the penalty spot. Wonderful free kick there by number 14, and Vivian Vanterpool is off the score sheet with a goal here this afternoon from the penalty spot. So a goal from the penalty spot, yes, for Vivian, and that goal came in the 10th minute here. It's 3-1. Here we see Morris. 3-1. Morris. Here is Morris. Number 2. Here is number 2. Coming away with it. Number 2. Coming away with it. Loses it to the number 5 player. Boots it upfield, and only to see the ball going into touch for a throw into Morris. So it's a throw into Morris. Scores here 3-1 in favor of Morris Vanterpool. Primary school football, NCBA primary school football competition here at the Raymond E. Gishard Stadium. Here we see the throw being taken, cut out there by the player, but loses out to the number 10 player there for Morris, who shoots at goal, but only to see the ball go to begging wide as the number 4 player chased after it, but to no avail, and the ball goes into touch for a free kick. Is that the number 8 player, that is, for a goal kick for the Vivian Vanterpool. Certainly sure that they will be, as we see a substitute being made. And here we see number 14, the goal scorer, boots the ball upfield, collected here by a player, and here we see Morris picking up now, tries to dribble a man, loses out to the Vivian Vanterpool. Here we see Morris coming away with it again. Morris still jostling between 3 players for the ball, loses out. Here we see the Vivian Vanterpool player, boots it for the center circle. Here we see the number 2 player trying to run onto it, but loses out to the number 11 defender there. And here we see number 8 boots the ball upfield, only as far as the number 4 player there, who intercepted there by number 8. And here we see Morris coming away with it again, drifting further to her left, loses out to number 4 there for Vivian Vanterpool, who squares it to number 2, but she loses the ball there to the defender there for Morris, who clears up field. And here we see number 8 now picking up. Number 8 picking up. Here we see Morris coming away, loses it, and picks up again. Morris picks up. The ball being squared wide. Here we see the number 2 player for Morris. Dribbles past 1. Dribbles past 2. Dribbles past another player. Squares the ball to number 10. And there's a shot and goal. But the keeper is right in position here this afternoon to start that shot and to avert any other danger. Here we see the goalkeeper is with the ball. She rolls it out. I think she's a little bit timid of kicking it out, knowing what happened the last time, so she rolls it out to the player. Here we see number 2 coming away with it, but it's blocked there by the defender there for Morris. Here we see Morris on the left side, dribbles one. Morris, as she tries to dribble the other player, loses it, and ball going into touch for a goal kick to the Vivian Vanterpool school. Scores 3-1 in favor of the Morris Vanterpool primary school here, who are playing in the red and black, and up against the Vivian primary, who are donning the green and white and black here this afternoon. Green and white jerseys with black shorts, as the number 8 player is over the ball. She boots it upfield. Only as far as the number 2 player, who's been challenged there. And here we see the referee judging an infringement against the challenge, and it's a free kick to the Morris Vanderpool. Free kick to, not Morris, free kick to Vivian, sorry. This is number 14, the goal score there for Vivian is over that ball, and I'm certain she's looking to boot that ball further upfield. Here we see that big kick, only as far as the player there, but she recovered nicely and is moving down her left, but the ball goes into touch for a corner kick. Oh no, yes, goes into touch for a throw in there to Morris. He had thought the ball had went for a corner there, but it obviously wasn't out, so the player booted the ball upfield and actually booting it into touch for a throw. And here we see Vivian Vanderpool throw into number 14, picked up there by number 2, who is trying to go to her right but loses out. And here we see the player there from Morris, number 10, dribbling past one but loses it to the center circle here to number 4. Here we see the player on the far left side as Morris moving further left, as Morris trying to come through, loses out to number 5 there for Vivian Vanderpool, who squares to number 2. Number 2 squares the ball in the center to number 14. Here we see number 14. Here we see number 14 tries to dribble the beater man, and it's an infringement for foul there just on the edge of the Morris Vanderpool 18 yards box, and that's a free kick there. And here we see the player, the goal scorer there for Vivian over the ball again, and looking to see if she can do damage here with this shot here this afternoon. It's 3-1 in favor of Morris. We are some 15 minutes and 46 seconds into the second half of this encounter. Here we see kick and goal, but not getting the direction she intended, and the ball rolls into touch for a goal kick there to Morris Vanderpool. 16 minutes and 10 seconds into the match here this evening, with Morris leading 3-1. Yes, as we see some substitute being made and the free kick being taken only as far as the player there for Vivian, who tries to clear but intercepted there by Morris. And here we see number 2 squaring the ball further forward, number 14. Here we see number 14 tries a shot and is bundled down here. Very heavy foul here this afternoon, and is that an infringement there? The referee is just making certain that the player is okay as he calls for the ball here this afternoon. And yes, drop ball, fair play. Here we see the ball being put into play. Yes, here we see number 2 trying to get around the player there, loses out, and the ball being cleared upfield, picked up there by number 10, who falls further downfield. Here we see the player trying to get around the man, but they're defending stoutly, and in defending played the ball into touch for a corner kick. And the far right hand side of the Vivian Vanderpool school, here we see corner kick, and here we see another substitute being made by the coach. Here we see whistle blown, corner kick being taken. We see the ball is with Morris, loses out there to the number 6 player there for Vivian. Here we see Morris trying to come away with it again. There's a tussle here been in the box, and number 2 coming away with it for Vivian, defending stoutly. But here is Morris with it again. As the number 10 loses it to the number 14, who boots it upfield and is collected there by the defender. Here is number 2. Here is the number 2 from Morris. Here is the number 2 for Morris, who seems to have all the skills. Just dribbled past one and loses it here to the number 5 player. Here we see the player coming away with it and trying to boot the ball at goal. Nicely kept in field there on the far end here by the Morris Vanderpool player. As he tries to dribble, loses out, but number 10 picks up again, and she squares further forward. Here we see number 2, the live and diminutive, lively number 2 here this afternoon. She squares and miscontrol there by number 4, and the ball goes into touch for a goal kick there to Morris. So that number 2 player there, really, she is diminutive, but really packs a punch in the play this afternoon, and the coach seems to have is going to give her a breather here, because she's been doing quite a bit of work there on that right side there, dribbling and taking on players for the entire afternoon, and rightly deserving a breather. Not missing any football, substitute being made, and here we see number 14 with the goal kick as she boots the ball upfield only as far as the Morris Vanterpool player, who intercepts there by number 5 there for Vivian. Vivian coming away with it again, and she clears further wide. Here we see number 8 trying to dribble upfield, loses it there, and there's an infringement for handball, and the free kick there goes in favor. Free kick goes in favor for handball, in favor of it seems as though the Morris Vanterpool school are still leading by a score of 3 goals to 1. 3 goals to 1. 20 minutes and 10 seconds into the second half. It's Morris with it. Morris with it now. And the kick being taken, booted over, and the ball trickles all the way. And here we see the keeper just collecting and is walking to her the edge of the goal area, and she just tosses it out. It seems as though she's afraid to boot it out. She feels more confident throwing it out. Only as far as the Morris Vanterpool player, who is coming down to the left side, dribbles for the left, has tried to get around number 5, but collects and clears, and here is number 2. Try to beat the Morris Vanterpool player. They loses out to the Morris Vanterpool player, and here we see a nice move there on the part of the wing player there, as she tries to go down the wing, loses it to the defender there for Morris, and here we see a shot on goal by the number 10 forward there for Morris, but the ball goes over the bar and into touch for a goal kick to the Vivian Vanterpool school. 21 minutes and 23 seconds into this half. I'm certain sure that we are just about to hear the whistle for the final whistle of the match. Here you see the goal kick being taken as far as number 2, as number 8 tries to clear, misses, but the ball is picked up by number 11 and put into touch for a throw in there to Vivian Vanterpool. Vivian Vanterpool 1, Morris Vanterpool 3. It's primary school football here at the Raymond Igishad Stadium on this beautiful Monday. And yes, you need to come on down. If you can't, then you certainly sure can join our live stream here. Here we see Morris coming away with it. Here we see Morris coming away with it. Morris still coming away with it as the ball dribbles further to the left. Here is Morris. Here we see Morris. Here we see Morris. And it's a goal! Goal! A well-worked move there from out of their defensive half there, coming all the way through the middle, moving further left, and see the number 10 there, cutting back nicely into the center of the goal area, and just rolling it past the goalkeeper on the right side and into the back of the old onion bag. So it's 4 goals to 1 in favor of Morris Vanterpool. Here we see Vivian Vanterpool now. Here we see the play being stopped again. Play being stopped. I really think some instructions needed to be had, that the player, instead of booting it upfield to the opposing team, the Morris, she could just pass it right there to her teammate there. Here we see that big kick being taken, and number 11 picks up and clears, And here we see Morris coming away with it, but being tripped up there and foul being given. So it's 4 goals to 1 in favor of Morris. And here it's primary school football here. We're just about into final stages of this match this afternoon. Here is Morris. Here is the number 10 here is Morris coming away with it again. There's a shot and goal, and it's a goal again. The number 10 player just dribbling down to the right side and slatting that ball past the custodian. It seems as though the goalkeeper there was just thinking that the ball would roll wide of her upright, but instead the ball rolled straight into the back of the net at the far corner for goal number 5 here for Morris this afternoon. So it's 5 goals to 1 in favor of Morris, and we are in some 24 minutes and 47 seconds into this half. And any moment now we can hear the whistle. Here we see number 14. It's a big kick up field collected there by the number 8 there player for Morris. Only as far as the number 8 there for Vivian Vanterpool, as they're trying to dribble through, but the wall there for Morris is well and truly constructed, as the ball being put into touch for a goal kick there for the Morris Vanterpool school. So it's live action here. The Morris Vanterpool against the Vivian Vanterpool Primary School. Morris in the ascendancy with 5 goals to 1. Here we see the goal kick being taken. Only as far as number 2 for Vivian, who clears back upfield. Collected there. Loses out to the number 11 player who boots the ball upfield. Here we see number 10 again. Here we see number 10 coming away with it. Number 10 coming away with it. Number 10 for Morris. And there's a shot at goal, but it's blocked and saved there by the keeper. And here we see number 8 there coming through nicely and clearing nicely. Here we see the number 4 player for Morris. Been challenged there by 00 there for the Vivian Vanterpool. Number 8 there been challenged by the Morris 00, and the ball ricochets and goes into touch for a goal kick there for Vivian Vanterpool. It's 26 minutes and 22 seconds. I see the referee would have looked at his watch, and I'm certainly sure we're just about to hear that final whistle, bringing the curtain down the Nets 10 County 8 this afternoon. And there you have it. In the second half, Morris Vanterpool 5, Vivian Vanterpool 1, and that's the end of our first game here this afternoon. Don't go anywhere. Do join us for our nightcap when we will see the boys doing battle here. Stay tuned and join us when we come back.